man once travelled all the way to Radin to visit the famous chaim. When he got out of the train station, he met an old man and he asked him, where does the big tzaddik, the chaim, live? And he told him, go down the road and you'll find his house on the left-hand side. And he said, by the way, he's not a big tzaddik, the chaim, he's not a special man at all. The person got so upset with this man, he slapped him across his face. Later on that day, he went to visit the chaim and he walked in and he realised that the man he slapped earlier on was the chaim himself. And the chaim was really speaking about himself that he's not such a great tzaddik, he's not such an amazing person. He said, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise that you were the chaim. So the chaim said, don't worry, I should have learnt a lesson. My whole life I've been teaching not to speak bad, not to speak lashon hara. And now I spoke lashon hara. Yes, it wasn't about someone, but I spoke lashon hara about myself. And this is not allowed either. A person can't speak about oneself in a bad way. So yes, in a way, I deserve that slap. Parshas Metzorah, the pasuk tells us that if a person has saras in his house, he goes to the kohen and he tells him, like a plague is on my house. The question is, why does he say ka-nega, like a plague? Shouldn't he just say, I have a plague, I have a neg on my house? Why does he say ka-nega, like a plague? The answer is what the chaim said in the story. A person can't speak lashon hara, he can't speak bad about himself. So he won't be able to say, there's saras, there's a nega on my house, there's a plague on my house. A person has to say, ka-nega, maybe I spoke lashon hara, maybe there's a plague on my house. And this is the reason why the pasuk says ka-nega and not nega, that there's actually a plague on the house. We see from this, a person always has to see himself in a good light, and he can't speak bad about oneself. You should all have a wonderful Shabbos.